Okay. Oh, wow. Time now is 11:18. Obviously, we've been having some issues, and so we'd like to start with a public apology. Hi, everyone. Hello, my name is Sam O,
Good
my
morning.
lovely sister. Hi.
Good morning, my lovely sister, and hello, everyone. Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Zion Christian Mission Center Facebook page. We are back. Have you been, Sis Camille?
I'm good, and thank you to everyone who's been patiently waiting, and we apologize. I'm good. I'm good. It's a very good day. It's sunny here where I am. How are you, Sis Sam?
Very happy to be back. We just got back less than a week ago, I think. We were in South Korea, of course, to discuss what we are going to discuss today. Zion Christian Mission Center did its fourth 100,000 graduation. I mean, to be technical about it, it's 110,000, just so you know. To be even more technical about it, it's 111,628. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we had a setback to deal with while we were there, which is what we are going to talk about today. You know, the title of today's episode is Venue Canceled on Graduation Day. Is this religious intolerance? Spoiler alert, yes, it is. But, you know, we're going to lay out the details and tell you why it is. In the meantime, we would like to invite all of you, if you're already here joining us, thank you so much. But please feel free to send this link to your friends and your loved ones so that they can hear out the story. Okay, so despite what could possibly be a pretty heavy topic today, we do like to start with a highlight. You know, we like to start on a positive note. So, Sis Camille, what is the highlight? I know you've been very busy because you're working very hard for the November center that you are opening, right?
We are opening. That's why I'm sure you're also busy as well. Yes. But highlight of the week, I would say every day. I think there's
Oh my
just
gosh, how do I
very
compete
hard.
with that? Every day is a highlight day.
Everything is a highlight because we're in the last few. No, we're barely having 2 months for the remaining year. So I think it's something that we are all looking forward to. But I'm sure you're very busy as well because you've been back. It's like was it last week? We were together last week, right? Before you flew to Korea, was that last week with
Gosh,
Sistina? Hi,
you know, it's
Sistina. By the way.
yes, Sistina is not here because she has family visiting from outside the country. It was also her mother's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, mommy.
Birthday, mommy.
So yeah, she's hanging with a fam. But yes, I mean, you know, I don't know if it's an age thing, but I find it very difficult to like remember things na, even if it was just like
You
last week.
know,
It's all a blur. It's a blur. But I'm
it's
very
age.
happy. Yeah, I'm very happy to be back on the podcast with you because I've missed you very much.
Me too. I miss you very
And
much too.
yeah,
Where's
it's
CC? Where's CC?
always
Let's move it.
yes, yes. I know, so cheesy. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. We are going to talk about the graduation that took place this year. This is an annual milestone event for Zion Christian Mission Center. We're very proud because this is our fourth year now of having over 100,000 people study at Zion Christian Mission Center, understand everything that we are teaching, and then decide, yes, this is true. I want to be part of it. And then they become part of the church called New Heaven, New Earth, which is the church that runs this theology center. Sis Camille, Sis Tina, myself, we have gone through this process and we are here to talk about this stuff. This year, though, you know, again, our biggest yet, because it's such a big scale event, we decided to rent a venue. Can we show a video of what this event looks like, by the way? We have a very quick video of just, you know, the numbers and how this graduation went down the past 3 years that we have done this. There you go. So in 2019, yeah, we had something like 103,000. So this is usually what it looks like. I mean, with the number of people and just the festivities,
Hmm.
because I mean, this is a huge celebration. We really have to rent like, you know, like Olympic scale venues to accommodate all of it.
Yeah, offline earlier, we were just sharing that even Paris Olympics, they had
Mm.
like 80,000, and it took them, you hand over the ceremony for 2 years, right? So the preparation starts in 2 years for just like, what, 70,000? And this is
Uh-huh.
like, right? Almost double the scale. And for sure it's really a lot of preparations.
Oh my gosh, yes. And this year, it wasn't just about a graduation, but we did a religious leaders forum as well as part of the event. So, of course, aside from New Heaven, New Earth, or it's also called Shinshanji Church of Jesus, we had a co-organizer of the event, which was the Buddhist National Unification of Korea. So we were expecting 30,000 participants from outside of South Korea from a total of 57 countries, most of them graduates, of course, but 1,000 of them were religious leaders who are representing Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism. So, I mean, major, major event. So, just to give you guys a timeline of how we prepared for this, we got approval for renting the space back in July 22 of the year.
22.
Yeah, July 22 of this year,
Okay, okay,
But
okay. I was
still,
thinking
yeah.
2022. Okay, this year, this year. Okay,
Maybe
okay.
maybe we should prep, maybe we should reserve the venue like 2 years in
2 years
advance or
ago.
something
Yes,
for
yes.
something like this not to happen.
True.
But yes, July pa lang of this year, we got approval for renting the space already. We were gonna do this at a park called Imjingak Peace Park. It's in a city called Paju. If you've ever been to Korea, it's a pretty popular tourist destination because it's right by the border, the DMZ. So you can actually see North Korea if you go to like
Oh.
the parang like the viewing area. So you can go like that, you can go down to the tunnels, mga ganyan. So, it's a popular tourist destination. And then we paid the rental fee for the venue on October 2. And
Mm-hmm.
then on October 16, there was a meeting with the authorities and our church because we had to discuss things like, the scale of the event, the layout of the event, if there was a safety plan in place. We were going to use special effects like fireworks and stuff. And they all had to, discuss this. I'm sure they had safety requirements and all that. And so we had a meeting to discuss all of it, and the authorities signed off on all that. Good to go. Approved. This is good.
No
On the
question.
same day, Sarah, yes,
No question. I mean, no questions. They were like, okay, you're go. This is good to go. Okay, yeah. Please,
yeah,
please go. Mhm.
yes, we met with, all the requirements that they needed for us to be able to do this event in the venue. On the same day, though, which is October 16, apparently they got the news that Paju City was being considered a danger zone because there was possible concern about like a distribution of North Korea flyers in the area. So this was a little heads up, like, okay, I think we might have some concerns here. Of course, we then asked the authorities, okay, is this in any way going to affect our event? And they were reassured that this will not affect the event in any manner. So, we can be rest assured about that
And that was
because
16th,
that was the 16th,
right?
correct? Our event was on the 30th.
Okay, so
So,
15 days. Uh-huh.
yeah, we're getting there. We're
Right,
getting very
right.
close to the event. We want to cover all the bases and we're just, asking for confirmation. Are we good? Are we good? Yes. In fact, on October 23 and on October 28, we got confirmation from the authorities that they had no plans to cancel the event. But then come event day, okay, this is a little, I guess it's a little technicality because the graduation itself, the ceremony, was going to happen on October 30.
Mm-hmm.
But the venue was reserved from the 29th to the 31st because, of course, for an event this big, you need time to set up things, you know?
Yes.
So when we say that it got canceled on the day, we mean the 29th because there were people there already preparing for the event, which was going to happen the next day. And that is when they decided to give us the news that, ooh, sorry, we're going to have to cancel the rental of this venue and the graduation can no longer proceed as we planned and as we approved you to do it. So that is what happened. Is it just me or is the live like is the video actually moving? Do you see it?
You're moving, you're moving.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay. I just want to make sure that I'm
Yes,
moving.
we're good. We're good.
Okay. So yeah, so that's what happened. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard also in the Philippines that this was going down.
We were hearing several news, but thank you for walking us through. Because, like, for a big event like this, I'm not sure if just even one day is enough. I was
Mm.
sharing earlier because, just even for a party, the ingress takes what? a day or two sometimes, especially if it's a big event. So how much
Mm-hmm.
more for this scale,
Yeah.
111,000? And then you just prepare the venue for like a night before or a day before, and then it's at such
Mm-mm.
no,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
going to happen.
So what ended up happening was we had to distribute the students, the graduates who are going to be part of the ceremony into different churches around South Korea. And the graduates who came from overseas, there were about 30,000 of them. They were now gathered in the Cheongju church. So all of the pictures that we see from this 111,000 graduation are from the Cheongju church.
This
Perhaps
one up
we
here.
can, yeah, this one.
Mm.
Perhaps we can look at a video of Oh no, we actually have a video of last year's graduation pala because I wanted to, show people like normally, if none of these things happened, a graduation for Zion Christian Mission Center would normally look like this. Perhaps we can show that just so you guys have a better idea. We have all of these, highlight videos on YouTube, by the way, if you guys want to go and look. But yeah, I mean, we had to make major adjustments. And I am actually amazed that we were able to kind of roll with the punches, given the cancellation. Okay, now we had to decide, okay, what is our venue now going to be? Just gather everyone, the logistics of it, which I'm sure was just a nightmare. Having to shuttle all of
Mm.
these people now to a different destination. And the Cheongju Church is very far
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the
How
original
far is it
venue.
if you could get? How far is it to
I
Sam? Like,
I
you know,
can I cannot give
if
you
it,
an exact distance. But we were, I think it was maybe about 2 hours off of like, the actual original venue of the graduation. So there
and
was
how?
that.
Mhm. Oh, sorry. I mean, what's the weather like? Like,
Oh my gosh.
imagine what
Okay.
they. Mhm.
The weather though was beautiful. I mean, it's fall in South Korea right now. In the early mornings though, it can get very chilly, but I think the weather wasn't so much of an issue because I mean, we were going to be outdoors anyway. I can imagine
Oh,
though, yeah, I can imagine though how maybe, our friends who were maybe coming from the Philippines were in a tropical country. Yeah,
right.
that would have been a bit of an adjustment. I do remember Sistina was so cold during the day of the graduation. But we were warned well in advance and we were prepared. We had warm clothing with us. We had all these heat packs. Those are always
Mm.
lifesavers when the weather gets really cold in South Korea. But yeah, I mean, major adjustments. And I can also imagine how maybe as someone who is visiting South Korea to be part of this milestone event and learning what we learn at Zion Christian Mission Center, I mean, this is not just a graduation ceremony. This is an
Oh,
event where we are, acknowledged now as people who understand the revealed word for our time. We are acknowledged as children of God.
right.
This is, the fulfillment of events that are prophesied in the book of Revelation. And so we become a reality, a part of that reality by being in this graduation ceremony. And when I put myself in the shoes of someone who is visiting this country to do all this, and then this happens, it must have been very, um, like the vibe must have been very unwelcoming, you know?
Mm. Mm.
Just
I
the
mean,
disappointment. Please go ahead.
no, no, no. I mean, I was just about to say, I was once, because this year was also my graduation. Well, official graduations. Like there's a lot of expectations, or because it first happened rather on 2019, right? After the pandemic, right? And then it's
Mm-hmm.
already 100,000, and then the scale just grows bigger and bigger, and everyone is just excited to fly. Imagine you attending not just an ordinary venue, just like what you said. This is really like me understanding, wow, I'm really part of the things that I've been studying. I'm not just attending a normal graduation ceremony. I'm just not going there to see tourist spots, but even being one together with all other fellow graduates and all fellow sisters and brothers who study the word from wherever you are. Like, we understand just one thing: Like,
Mm.
interpretation is this and that, but hey, this is something that we all know. And because we all came to understand, no matter what happens, I'm going to cross the mountains and the sea and be there as part of this major event as well. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then,
Yeah. Please continue, please.
no, no,
Yes.
sorry, go ahead. I'm just getting so, on fire. Like, so I could have been there, but yeah, please go ahead.
And it wasn't for lack of trying. We know that. I mean, Sis Camille really wanted to be there, guys. We have Sis Eileen, who is actually watching us right now. She
Ooh.
went to South Korea to be part of this graduation. And she says, I participated in the graduation in South Korea. Super can't explain the feelings I felt seeing how God did all this. The sudden changes can't do in man's might, but it is God's hand doing it to make the event possible. Super, I cried at the moment the graduation went through. Indeed, God is in Shinchanji. So, yes, and we were going to get to that where despite all the setback, um, wait, can we like wallow in the setback a little bit more? Can we like make drama pa ng konti?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
No, okay. No, I just want to like,
I love
fully
that.
express
One
like
more.
guys, I mean, this is I really felt for, the graduates who were there because like, South Korea is the K-wave and everyone is so into it, like the drama and the food and the beauty, like, we are in luckily like such a good spot and to have all of these guests fly in from outside and this happened, like I felt so bad.
Mm,
Like, do they feel rejected by this country? Do they feel discriminated against? Um, let alone, of course, popping the balloon, to your celebratory mood. Like
mm,
it was so sad for
mm,
me. Uh,
Especially from South Korea, si Sam. So I
yes,
it's a bit, you wanted a warm welcome from everyone, the brothers and
yes,
sisters, and also because there are religious leaders also from different,
yes.
denominations, or you mentioned earlier, it's Buddhism,
Mm.
the organization where, yeah. So it's something new for every one of them. So there could be also other expectations or,
Uh,
yeah.
right,
Uh,
right. And then again, let's just kind of think about the process that some of these graduates had to go through to be there. Number one, the visa application, which is not an easy process. Um, the sacrifices that we have to make to maybe set aside a few days to actually make the trip.
mm,
Some of the graduates are perhaps in school, they have businesses to run, they have jobs,
Jobs.
families that they have to attend to. Just, we have to put aside all of that to be part of something like this.
Mm.
Financial resources that have to go
Mm.
into this. We paid for our own flights. We also, I think some of us also paid for our own accommodations.
Accommodation. Mm.
Yeah. Speaking of accommodations, they were booked in certain places probably so that they can be near the actual venue of the graduation. But then you have the sudden cancellation the night before, and now everything is just like thrown up in the air. You know? Yeah, things like that. Things like that.
Wow.
That's,
Mm.
yeah, that's all the stuff that we have to deal with. And then, of course, on the organizers' side of things, having to move now an event of this scale to a completely different venue.
30,000, right?
Yes. I mean, imagine that. Okay, having said all of that, I'm done now being dramatic.
Oh, you're
Okay.
good? You're good? Okay. Okay. Focusing out a bit.
But, despite all of this, we still did have our graduation ceremony. Again, we did it in Cheongju Church, much smaller scale than what we originally planned. But if you look at the pictures, oh my goodness, everyone was super organized. Um, everyone was in very good spirits still. And I
Mm.
think and I think because it's no secret that Shincheonji Church of Jesus is persecuted in some parts of the world, it's
Mhm.
almost like we have come to expect it. And when something does happen, we know how to roll with it.
Mm. Right, right.
Um, erase. I don't want to say we expect it. I don't expect it. Okay. I was still like shocked
Right.
when this happened.
Uh-huh. Yes.
But I think for some of us, it's like, it's not shocking anymore.
Mm.
Mhm.
I
How did
think
you
it
feel?
um to be honest, when I heard the news, I was like, what happened? Because again, it's such a big scale, right? So at
Yeah.
the back of my head, with my small mind, I thought, okay, maybe it's not gonna happen anymore. People will just be coming home. Bye bye, thank you, maybe next year. But that's me thinking on my human mind. But then again, like what you said, this is the opportunity where we, okay, as Shinshanji, as someone who has the revealed word, and we will overcome whatever situation that we have, and we'll make it better. It's
Mm-hmm.
something that you're going to really test what you've learned. I think that's what made this event more memorable, I would say. We couldn't just say, okay, 2,000, 100,000 graduation, 110, because it will just keep growing. It's also prophesied, right? I mean, we
Mm-hmm.
learned that okay, it's going to just grow bigger, 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 and bigger. But I think what made this more meaningful, or a milestone for each and every one of us, is that something like this happened yet. No one can stop us. God is with us. This is what we're doing. I think that's what makes it more beautiful, I would say, Sis Sam.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I mean, this is going to be such a memorable graduation because remember that year when the venue canceled on us? Like,
Exactly.
and
What?
yet, you're right. You're
Mm,
right. And yeah, I think in moments of adversity, we really, as a church, are able to shine through
mm,
it. The Bible, especially the book of Revelation, it keeps telling us to overcome. That is something that we are told to do every day. I pray about it every day. Whatever challenges are in store for me today, please help me to fight and overcome because that is part of the faith life. And wow, it was just like equal on the day of the graduation. It was equal parts like sad, I can't believe this happened, but also, oh my goodness, we're actually pulling this off. We're pulling this
yeah.
off. It's still
I
giving me
think
goosebumps like talking about it.
it's like, people in the video, they were just all smiling, like nothing happened. Like, you really went through all this, yet,
Mhm.
amen, amen. And then everyone was just in celebratory mode. Like, we're just going to do this no matter what happens. It just
Yeah.
has to happen.
Yeah.
Um,
So, having said all of that, there are obviously, I think, some legal matters that we do have to address. I mean, the only explanation that was given for the cancellation was that, yes, there are some safety concerns in this city, but the thing is, the other activities that were planned to happen on that same day of the graduation, none of them were affected. It was really just our event. So, I think it's safe for us to conclude that we were singled out, you
mm,
know.
mm,
Um, Again, it's not the first time that we have experienced this kind of discrimination. We do feel like there was religious intolerance
mm.
against us, and it is a threat to religious freedom. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a democratic country we're talking about,
Right, right.
and there's yeah, I can say all this because I'm from there. Okay, so
Yes, tell us
um,
about it, Sis Sam.
and just separation of church and state also,
Mm,
which is something that we are afforded here in the beautiful country of the Philippines.
right,
Um,
right.
it seems like there was a bit of a shortcoming in the practice of separation of church and state, and so
Mm,
as a church, I think we've also reached that point where we're not gonna take this lying down anymore. This was obviously like an infringement on our basic human rights, and we deserve at least a public apology. And what
mm.
about the financial damage that it caused? I
Right,
mean,
right.
right? Like there has to be some compensation for that. So we are gonna, yes,
No, I
move
was,
forward.
yeah, sorry, I was about to ask if there were any, so cancellation happened, right? And you did mention that people had to be mobilized in different parts of where the next venue was. Were there
Mhm.
offer to, okay, maybe you could stay here or that?
By the
Right,
authorities.
right.
But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the group is called Gyeonggi Tourism Organization, by the way. So did they have like this is a plan B? Why don't you guys do it like
Right,
here?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh,
no.
no. So all the
Yeah.
organizers and even the participants had to do it by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. We were just kind of left to figure it all out.
Right, right. Mm.
But okay. And I don't want this conversation to be just about like boo-hoo, Shincheonji Church of Jesus, we were victims of religious intolerance and now we all have to stand up for our church. Like, no, religious intolerance, religious freedom, separation of church and state. Like, I think we all have a vested interest in this.
Mm.
If it can happen to one church, I don't see how it will not happen to another.
Mm.
So our objective here is to, of course, number one, make it known that yes, this happened to our church, but we're not just about securing these rights for us. This is something we all deserve as human beings.
Right, right. And you did
Mhm.
mention earlier that there were other religious leaders, right? So they're
Yes,
part of this happening. I
they were
mean,
affected.
right, exactly. So this is not just about us talking, oh, because this is for Shincheonji or things like that, but just like you said, it's a general, and this is not to attack anyone. That's not what we are looking forward to, but it's more of making it known and for this not to happen again, because it doesn't, there's no, how do I say? I mean, on the positive note, it turned out well, but there are
Hmm.
still some things that needs to be addressed, needs to be reconciled in the future, which is why we are opening this up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, for sure, I can assure you, we're gonna do another graduation, and it's only gonna get bigger. And
Uh-huh.
so we need to iron these issues out, guys, so we
Oh,
don't do this again. Okay, we have a really nice, heartwarming letter from one of the graduates who were there during the event. Would you like to read that for us, Sis Camille?
yes, please. It's my pleasure. And this is from a brother, and his name is Brother Brian from Canada. I'm not sure
Mm.
if he's up right now because it's 12 midnight, but please allow me to read. So, from our brother Brian, hello, Ate Sam, Tina, and Camille. Happy 110 graduation to Zion Christian Mission Center's class 115. I would like to share with you my experience as an attendee of the graduation in South Korea. Although I've been to a graduation in Korea before, this particular one helped me grow in significant perception when it comes to understanding God's position and perspective. First, despite our original venue being canceled at the last minute, we still held a successful event. All glory to God. Amen. Our Korea
Amen.
family worked a lot behind the scenes, and it made me think about how I would respond in the face of unfavorable circumstances. I wondered if I would crumble due to hardship and difficulties. But through this experience, God allowed me to perceive the importance of being in constant prayer and working with the wisdom that comes from God to overcome anything. We all have hardships, but God gives us strength if we rely on Him and His Word. Most of the work put in towards this graduation event was unseen, much like how God has been working in an unseen way for the past 6,000 years. Knowing how much work the heavens are putting into day to accomplish God's final work, then I must work, then I too must work and be one. The 12 tribes born of God's seed from all nations gathered at this graduation. And although we all come from different countries, ethnicities, and backgrounds, we have commonalities that matter. We are born of God's seed, harvested, sealed, and registered to the 12 tribes as promised in Revelation. We all have verified the word of truth coming from Shincheonji, and we know exactly who we are according to Revelation. I had a blessed opportunity to meet brothers and sisters from all over the world, and it brought me a lot of joy to see the healing of all nations taking place. I hope and pray that the whole world will continue to listen and verify the truth, just as 111,688 people this year did. And not just this year, the 100,000 graduation of Shincheonji has only continued to take place year after year after year. And we'll do it even better again next year to the glory of God. Shincheonji has come so far from a small seed to now be at a scale where the entire world can look at us. The eras have truly shifted and God is fulfilling revelation. Like Chairman Lee said during his graduation address, there is no other place in the entire world that has mastered revelation except for Shincheonji. Lastly, although it was a brief and passing, I was ecstatic to have met Ate Sam and Ate Tina at the graduation. To everyone listening, I hope to also meet you at next year's graduation. We are one
One.
from Canada.
Oh.
Aw, thank you, Brother Brian. When I read this earlier, I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every word resonates with me, and I am it's so heartwarming to read
Mm.
that letter. Um,
Yeah. Sorry, what stood out the most was the power of prayer as well. You know, when you are in the edge where you can't do anything, like imagine it's not even 24 hours, the cancellation of event, right? And for someone, for example, me, I really freak out a lot during pressure. Oh, what's gonna happen? Things like that. Maybe I could have just panic and get stiff and do nothing. But then that's the time where you're in the brink of, oh my gosh, this is beyond my power anymore. This is beyond any human's capability anymore. Then we rely on the power of God. Lord, will you please be the one to do all these things? And then we
mm,
just move. And I think that's what even our brother Brian did say, to give glory to God. It's not
ugh,
like any man or anything, but wow, this is you, God. This is really God and no one else. So
100%. Cannot agree more. You're right. Absolutely right. Brian, thank you so much for putting down those words to paper, virtual paper, and then sending it to us. I mean, it's such a comfort to hear that and super encouraging. We also want to thank everyone on the stream who joined us today and, offered words of encouragement as well. Helps us so much that you are here with us. Before we really go, though, okay, we have a few announcements. Let's get into that, Sis Camille. What are we
yes,
starting with?
we have a lot of things going on, like
Ah,
okay. Yes, member center opening. So what is this all about, if I may, Sis Sam?
please.
I think for most of us, even for myself, I would start the year, okay, I'm going to do this and do that. So for those who may have this resolution to study the Bible at the beginning of year 24 and you haven't yet, so I think this is the best time to say yes to your dedication or your, how do I say, New Year's resolution before we start next year. So we're opening up this Yes Member Bible classes, which we are ongoing. It's ongoing for most of the classes, and these are available in, okay, different time slots as well. So we have for regular, which will be, I believe, flash on the screen as well.
Oh, the different classes you mean that are
Right.
on
Mm-hmm.
offer. And you
Yes.
were saying something like this is the last class that people can register for the year.
For
No?
the year. For the year.
Yeah.
Yes. So of course it comes with scholarship, meaning they don't have to pay anything, but it's the 8 months program, and the
Mm-hmm.
programs will be
You mean like the non-pastors class,
the
which
pastor.
is
Mhm.
yeah, which is everyone who is not a pastor. We just want to differentiate that because obviously for pastors, you might want to be in a separate class along with other pastors because
Right,
you
right.
guys have different needs and
Mhm.
medyo iba yung approach. Okay, so that and then we have international class.
Yes.
We also have
The Life Academy.
for the 13 to 17-year-olds, right? Okay, so the pastors, the
The
posters
sounds like okay.
are being flashed on the screen right now.
Yes,
Okay.
so this were the one. Yeah, this one is for the youth, the 13 to
Mm-hmm.
17, and also for international, since the those 111,000 graduates came also from different parts of the world, and it's also offered in yes, Isang.
No, no, you know what? I think I think when you go to the graduation ceremony in South Korea, that's really one of the things that is so moving for me. You see people of all ethnicities, from different countries, all ages, from very young people to like, older people, women, men. I mean, it's really something. It's a sight to behold. And it really is a testament to how the truth is universal. It is gonna
Exactly.
transcend. It's gonna
Mhm.
transcend all of these things. So please continue. Yes.
Oh yes, and then for BC1, the usual classes are for 8 months, but we also have the self-paced learning where we could learn offline as well. And also, this is for free for 4 months. Yeah.
Please come join us. Yesterday I shared a reel that was about the chairman speaking during the graduation ceremony, and he was talking about, being sealed and the 12 tribes and, all of these things, which are words that you find in the book of Revelation, right? In case you're hearing this for
Mm.
the first time and you're like, what is he talking about? It's all in the Bible. It's all there.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
it's stuff that we have to know because the Bible is God's salvation plan. The book of Revelation tells us how it is going to come to an end. Of course, it's in figurative language. You learn all this in, Zion Christian Mission Center. But if any of these things interest you as someone who is maybe living out your life of faith based on the Bible, we have to know these things. We have to understand,
Mm.
what do these things mean? And that is what the invitation of Zion Christian Mission Center is, of Yes Member Center opening. That's where you go to learn all this stuff. Okay?
Let's say
Because
yes.
yeah, because we're not just making up these words. These are words in the Bible. They've been there for 2000 years. Okay. Our
Correct.
next announcement has to do with the secrets of the end times revealed. So if the class is maybe a bit of a commitment for you at this time, then you can come and get a taste of it because we are now doing seminars that are open to everybody. We have seminars happening in different areas of the country. For Manila, we have one happening on the 17th of this month at the Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Pasig at
I
9:30
think.
a.m. You can register for the seminar. Please do. We'd love to see you there. If you want to see if there's a seminar in your area, what time that happens, where, please go to the New Heaven, New Earth PH Facebook page to get all the details, okay? But we're really excited to just open things up to everyone who might be interested in this stuff. Please come join us. I think we have all the links. They're going to be in the comment section of this live, so you can look there as well. Next announcement, please.
Right.
Okay, so
Oh, this one.
yeah, I mentioned earlier that Sis Tina, she would not just attended the graduation, but she was there to shoot and cover the graduation because she does a show called Voice of Peace with our other sister, Ms. Rica Feliciano. This is really more focused on the peace works of the International Peace Organization that is also headed by our chairman, which is called HWPL. But she went there representing Vantage Point Media, which is the name of this outlet, and so the material will be shown on that show. They go live every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on Vantage Point Media, the Facebook page. So I believe it will be next Tuesday where you can get um, the view that Sistina had while she was there. She talked to a bunch of people, graduates, organizers, the head director of Zion Christian Mission Center. Too. We got to sit down with the chairman. We had a moment.
Ooh.
Yes, we had a moment with the chairman, and he had some choice words for the media too. So please tune in and watch that next Tuesday. I also want
Okay.
to invite everyone to open worship, Sis Camille.
Yes. And this is happening every Sunday
Wednesday.
at 10 a.m., Wednesday at 7 p.m. And on Sundays, there are also two time slots every 10 a.m. and 7 p.m.
So you can come hang with us because Sis Camille and I are regularly part of the New Heaven, New Earth open worship service. And we'd love it if you would invite your friends and your loved ones as well. Again, this is super non-committal. It's something that you can come and check out, see how we do an open worship service, listen to a little bit of the teaching that we share at the church. And Wednesday nights are nice because it's also like a prayer gathering. We really just like to gather and pray together because God likes that. He likes it when we're gathered and we pray. So all that good stuff. It's 11:56. It is time for us to get out of here. We want to thank you once again for joining us for this very, very happening episode. Um, and it's a conversation that I wish we didn't have to have because it's about,
Mm.
venue cancellation and whatnot. But still, my takeaway from all of this is so positive and it strengthens my faith even more. And I'm so proud to be part of Shincheonji Church of Jesus. Like, we are truly overcomers. And again, this conversation isn't just about this church, but it's for all believers, all people of faith. There's no guarantee that something like this isn't going to affect, the other churches. And so we need to stand together and say, like, this is not cool.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
party words, Sis Camille.
Yes, something that I come to reflect earlier when we were showing the Voice of Peace. I think that's what God really wants, to have peace and to give peace to everyone. So we're not here to fight, we're not here
Mm.
to argue or things like that. This happened, but ultimately we're here to have peace, to be united and together as one. So parting words are, see you next week, si Sam. This is good,
We
good
will see you
to
next week.
have a
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Ooh, our email address, bestnewseverpodcast@gmail.com. If you guys want to write to us for whatever reason, we love it when we see something in our inbox. Also, this episode and all our past episodes are on the YouTube channel. So you guys can go and binge all the episodes there. Best News Ever Podcast on YouTube. Alrighty, that's it. We're out. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See you. Thank you. Bye.